Okay, welcome back to Loft Media, where we search out the truth, and we're also focused on democracy, particularly in Queensland. So, and today I just thought I'd reflect a little bit further on my journey, and it just so happens to be today we're recording this on the 1st of December, and I'll just show you this headline. I was going through some old documents as I'm preparing more material for the book that I'm writing, and lo and behold, on the 1st of December 2017, that was the headline in the local paper. And I thought, corruption watchdog has charged the Fraser Coast Mayor Chris Loft with computer hacking, misconduct and disclosing official secrets. So that was the corruption watchdog, which is the CCC. And for your own information, tomorrow, December 2, the CCC is under investigation of itself, and a report comes out which I think will be absolutely damning of the performance of the CCC. So we're living in a time where truth is starting to surface. So the mainstream media is not about truth. Mainstream media is around lies and hiding the truth. So the times we're living in, lies are becoming the truth, and the truth is becoming lies. So you really do need to have your wits about you as to what input you're putting into your head. Now, I said on the 1st of November I was going on a media fast from mainstream media, and I can tell you it's been a joy to not even bothering to look at the news headlines and listen to the news that streams out from mainstream media. So ABC, Channel 7, Channel 9, Courier Mail, Brisbane Times, Melbourne Age, all these ones which are basically funded by the government in the background when you come down to it. I mentioned last week about following the money trail. Well, I've had some people who have come with some jaw-dropping information to me during the week when we do follow the money trail. When I mentioned about Premier Anna Palaszczuk and her dad, some people have done investigations into that, which I have to believe it, but it's worse than I would have thought. So the rules that are being made by these elitists who are in government for the community of Queensland in particular, you've just got to look down to the Victorian border and you see what's going on down there, and we're only a little footstep behind them in the domination of government over its citizens. The people who are in power are supposed to be servants of the public. That is their job. They're supposed to listen to community and then serve the community. It's not self-interest and their own selves, which is that should not be the focus. So I showed you that headline on the 1st of December where I was arrested 4 years ago. And then in January 18, it was about a year later, this was another headline: not afraid of the truth. And that's been my mantra for a long, long time, is not afraid of the truth. And I think the times we're living in now, there's a lot more people standing up for the truth. These freedom rallies that are going on around Australia right now, with huge numbers of people participating, and they're all basically good rallies. You know, it's by people who are concerned. There's not ratbag yelling, screaming, burn the house down, that type. It's all people that are extremely concerned about their freedoms. And apparently the mainline press says there's 10 or 20,000 here, there and and just a handful here and there, which is not the case. And one of the benefits of social media is that you can see panoramas that people take of the crowds. Huge crowds in Melbourne and Sydney, Adelaide big crowds, Perth big crowds, and Brisbane, and then of course all the local areas as well. And here on the Fraser Coast, Hervey Bay had one and Maryborough had another one last Sunday. So once again, I encourage you to get along to those rallies. They're having great speakers, they're passionate people there, and they're searching out the truth. They know the truth, and there's more and more people that are saying they're waking up to it. So there's more and more people need to be speaking the truth, because it's the truth that sets people free. The hidden lies and the information that is being dished out is what I'm now calling evil. I'm comfortable in calling this sort of things evil. People say to me, so what can they do? And it's basically, in a nutshell, is stop playing by the rules that is being forced onto you. If you, in your conscience, feel that the vaccination is not for you, from your research, you can't be coerced into doing it, into taking it. This is just, it's like back in Germany days, you know, where the people were experimented on by some sort of juice that the Hitler and his regime were inflicting into people, just as experiments on people. So stop playing by the rules and shift your mindset from fear to action. So start taking some steps and speak up. You're well aware of the corruption, and during my book, and I'll be sharing more very shortly in other sessions that we have on the corruption that was in the local council area, which I was familiar with, which elevated me into the state government area, and that's where I saw even a higher level of the corruption that's relevant. So, and I know things have not been cleaned out in the state government. I think there's a lot of people who are starting to stand up and take notice. There are more bureaucrats, senior bureaucrats, who are bailing out. There's experienced nursing people who are bailing out of the health system, and doctors, people with consciences and who have done their own research. There's in the schooling system, once again, government is trying to inflict more and more restrictions on people. And so teachers, teacher aides, people involved in deliveries to schools, those are the sorts of things now. You can either buckle under and just go along with the flow, because they're just going to come up with more and more restrictions. This is, as we mentioned last week, this is the segregation is a rotten thing that's being established here in Queensland. The segregation, it's like the black and the whites. And I just can't believe we've come to this point in history. But we have. And thank goodness that people are now starting to stand up and not be driven by fear. So the fear of the world and the New World Order, all those things used to be conspiracies. Well, they're not conspiracies, they're facts. So climate change is inflicting fear on people. This COVID, fear on people, and now there's apparently a new strand of COVID. Of course there is. Fear on people. More and more jabs that the government is saying you'll need to take. So more and more of the juice being injected into people's arms, which the government says is for your good. Well, I think you need to do research just to check that it is for your good. So we're wanting to do these sessions more frequently and probably a little bit shorter, so that we just sort of, because times are heating up. December 17 is some big date that the state government has got for people that must be vaccinated, and so there's going to be lots of businesses that will be potentially turning away customers as they have to have their own policeman on the door. I can't see that working. I think people just need to continue on in just being aware of doing their buying and their selling as they normally do. If a shop does turn you away, then just say, well, okay, you don't want my money, I'll find another shop that does want the money. So, and I don't think that we need to be pushed around by the government bureaucrats. My experience has been that there was no thirst or no desire to weed out the corruption back in December 17 when I was arrested. It was one of cover-up, and so my journey was through the court system, found guilty, time in prison, and that gave me a time to reflect on really what had happened, and now we're in the time where, my goodness me, the way the government is saying they're going to need a lot more prisons to put people into, or they're trying to make huge fines for people that you can't even jump over for these petty offences. I mean, drug dealers, they go scot-free. So many, domestic violence, all these sorts of things which the police should be chasing. They're not, well, as much. It's just such a shame how decayed this government in Queensland has become, and I'll call it is corrupt, and let's just watch it all go. But stand firm, don't give in to things that are wrong. You need to stand for the truth, and stand for democracy in Queensland.